So these are sum and difference forms. This time we're going to work on degrees a little bit. So we have cosine of 165, which is not one of the normal angles that shows up on the unit circle, right? So the question is, are there two angles on the unit circle that we know that add up to 165? And there are, aren't there? So we can use this as cosine of, what'd you use? You use 35 degrees. Oh, so you use 120 degrees plus 45 degrees. That's not how I did it at all, which makes great sense because it's fine. As long as they add up, it works. You have to be careful if they're given in degrees. If possible, you should stay in degrees because that's what you're being asked to prove that you can do. I can see, frankly, as trig students, why you would want to switch out and go to radians because most trig is done in radians. So I can see that, but try to stay in degrees the best that you can. So we have alpha equals 120 degrees. What do we know about 120 degrees? What are the cosine and sine values? Yeah, negative 1/2 and square root 3 over 2. And we have our beta is equal to 45 degrees. And 45 degrees is the one we know best, which is square root 2 over 2, right? Square root 2 over 2. So far, so good? Please keep in mind with cosine, when you're using the sum formula, positive gets you a, right, Brandon? Because on the sine formulas, if it's negative, it stays negative. If it's positive, it stays positive. But with cosine, if it's positive, it goes to, right? Something to keep in mind. Keep in mind. So cosine alpha is negative 1/2, isn't it? Cosine beta is square root 2 over 2. This negative sign right here is this negative sign. Sine alpha is square root 3 over 2, isn't it? And sine beta is square root 2 over 2, right? So far, so good? We'll get negative square root of 2 minus square root 6 all over 4, don't we? You might see it done this way, Brandon, where they factor out all these negatives here. They factor out negative 1/4 times square root 2 plus square root 6. Is that all right? All right, last one. Let's take a look. Maybe that was the last one. This is the answer. So, right. So, cosine of 165 degrees is this value. And it's all numeric. There's no variables in here, is there? Are there?